I wanna be the very best. Hello and welcome back to Burning Money in a Fire. It's not technically burning money in a fire, but it may as well be. Today we're talking about something that I learned about yesterday and had to talk about on the channel. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the situation with Logan Paul and Pokemon cards, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Logan Paul, friend of the show, has gotten really into Pokemon cards recently, going as far as to purchase a first edition base set box for like $200,000. So pocket change. So Logan Paul's gotten into Pokemon and he's made a bunch of videos about it. They're actually quite endearing and entertaining. Like, he very clearly is enjoying himself and having fun and seems to love what he's doing. And that's another sentence I never thought I'd say.
I stay pulling chances, dog.
Logan Paul also opened these cards on a live stream and sold all the packs, and he ended up making like 400 grand and donating over 100K to charity. So that was pretty cool. In the wake of the Logan Paul effect, Pokemon cards have shot up and they've reached like an all-time high. They're super expensive and it's and that's oh my gosh. And it's inspired a lot of people to get into Pokemon collecting, many of which know nothing about Pokemon. Unlike me, I know stuff about Pokemon. I used to be a Pokemon master. I was the very best. Longtime fans of the channel will know that I am a nerd. I know I give off this cool jock persona, but at my heart, I'm a nerd, baby. When I was a kid, I used to play in Pokemon TCG tournaments at my local Toys R Us, the Pokemon League. Wait, I've got some memorabilia. Ugh. Look at all these beads and coins. You don't have all these beads and coins unless you're a Pokemon master. Got an Alakazam coin, little Aerodactyl guy. Back is cool. Got some damage counters. And let's not forget this awful condition Charizard I have. Anyway, after that, I became a cool jock and stopped playing with children's games. Just kidding. I was a member of a Pokemon website and was a gym leader, and I fought in competitive Poke battles, and I guested on a Pokemon podcast from time to time. Gotta catch 'em up, Pokemon! Bow! What's up? I'm Future Jarvis, and today's video is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. Most people still use wallets that were designed in the 90s, which was in the past. Mind you, I'm from the future. Quite frankly, these old wallets are a mess, and they'll hurt your butt. The Ridge Wallet is sleek, industrial, futuristic. And it won't hurt your butt. It's got room for 12 cards. Unfortunately, no room for Pokemon cards, I checked. And it's got room for cash. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium, which is especially futuristic. I know I'm making it sound great, but don't take my word for it. Check out their 30,000 5-star reviews. The Ridge Wallet comes with a lifetime warranty, and you can test drive it for 45 days. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by heading on over to ridge.com/Jarvis. That's my name. And using promo code Jarvis, also my name. Link in the description. Thanks again to Ridge for sponsoring this video. In a world we must defend. Today's story centers around 3 experienced investors who have a YouTube channel ironically called Dumb Money, and they couldn't find a better way of spending $500,000, so they just decided to spend it on Pokemon. So that's what they tried to do. Have I mentioned they don't know anything about Pokemon? They decided, as a stunt, I have to assume, that they were going to purchase the world's most expensive first edition box of Pokemon cards for $375,000, which is almost double what Logan Paul paid. They were going to do it on stream, buying cards from the very same collector who sold Logan Paul his cardboard. But he notably was not the person who sold Logan Paul his booster box. Logan actually bought that at an auction. He just sold him graded cards that had been like authenticated and appraised for their value. So big difference there. These are the guys that got scammed. The seller in possession of these fake cards, who was Logan Paul's Pokemon expert, goes by the name of Collectibles Guru. He comes from the crypto community where he's known as the Crypto King. So he's clearly not very creative when it comes to choosing his handle, because all it is the industry he's in plus some sort of like high position. So if he was a YouTuber, I assume he'd be called the YouTube emperor. While he sold Logan legitimate product, there were a few signs that gave people pause to his credibility. For starters, upon first meeting Logan Paul in his video, references a drug deal.
This feels like I'm trafficking a kilo, but like the price is actually probably more than a kilo.
That's what I'm saying.
My guy, why do you know how much a kilo costs? Just a quick glossary. PSA and BGS are both companies that grade cards on their quality, and a PSA 10 and a BGS 10 are the best quality there is. And that's like the cards that have the highest value are PSA 10. He also became a bit of a meme in the Pokemon community for claiming that this Bulbasaur card that by all accounts is worth like $3,000 to $4,000 was worth $30,000. And Logan Paul didn't believe him and asks him 3 separate times, and the man doubles down every time.
What's a Bulbasaur go for, Jake?
BGS, 10,000, 20,000 plus, maybe 30. Last sold 3 to 4,000 if it's a PSA 10.
10K to 20K, 30K tops. Last sold for 3 to 4K. What do you mean 10 to 20K if the last sold was 3 to 4K? Wouldn't that mean its price was 3 to 4K? Maybe this is something about the big brain collector community that I don't understand. I watched the video that Logan did with this guy to look for signs of him being scummy, and there weren't a ton, but then I went to his Instagram and there were a lot. Also, he's just like not nice on social media. He seems very not nice. Editing Jarvis, by the way. Just thought I'd pop in and say hi. Anyway, he's the guy with the cards. And Dumb Money, I can't believe their name is Dumb Money. Dumb Money agrees to pay $375,000. They're going to give away the cards to charity. They make all of these grandiose statements about the stuff that they're going to do with the money that they don't have yet. They're very much counting their chickens before they hatch. Counting their cards before their packs, counting their packs before they bought, counting their cards before they've been opened out of packs is the metaphor I'm going to go with. They self-proclaimed to not know anything about Pokemon.
And I knew nothing about Pokemon a week ago. Absolutely nothing.
Which seems like a bad idea to me. While Logan Paul is like clearly a fan of Pokemon and very nostalgic for it, the Dumb Money guys are fans of money, I think, but not at all fans of Pokemon or nostalgic for it in any capacity. They're just doing this to invest, which I guess is their whole deal. But it really takes the fun out of it, let me tell you. Since they're not experts, they invited real Pokemon experts like Leonhardt and this guy, Scott Emmer.
I'm Scott Emmer, DFW Pokemon.
Who I don't know, but Leonhardt's really cool. I watch a bunch of his videos. He seems like a nice guy.
This is kind of a historic day, not only for Dumb Money, but for collectors.
This is a historic day for Dumb Money. Also, is it weird that I'm wearing a sweatshirt that says empathy, but I'm laughing at rich people? Let me know in the comments down below. These guys seem obsessed with making history because they're trying to like double everything that Logan Paul did. They're like, well, he paid $200,000 for a box. We're going to pay $400,000 for a box. He donated $100,000 to charity. We're going to donate $400,000 to charity, or whatever the packs sell for, or whatever. And it's just like, there's no heart in it. So it's like not interesting. Also, can we talk about the stream setup? They have like 5 cameramen, a boom operator. Everyone's wearing lav mics, so they like really want to capture this, I guess. And they also have an armed security guard. I don't know if the camera people were told to social distance from everyone else, but they are very far away, giving us the least appealing view of the action taking place. This is the most expensive, bad-looking stream setup I have ever seen.
Today we're doing probably the single largest transaction in Pokemon history.
Cool. It doesn't really carry weight when you aren't in the Pokemon community, though. Like, you're just like getting in the community to like make some history, and then I don't know. It just like it just doesn't sit right with me.
This is insane.
It is insane. Also, they have no camera focused on the card, so we're just forced to look at these guys at a meeting table the entire time, which is not. No one wants to watch that. We want to look at the cards. Oh, and how are they sending the $375 grand? Via wire transfer, I suppose. PayPal? Oh, a $30 Amazon briefcase filled with $100 bills? Okay. I guess that's one way to do it. Also, since this was streamed live on YouTube, there's a chat replay, and the chat is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Looks like a hostage negotiation.
I don't know if I'm about to spend $375,000 on a resealed bogus box of Pokemon cards.
I know. and the results will surprise you.
We are purchasing a first edition 1999 Pokemon box base set.
So eventually the sellers arrive. Eventually the sellers arrive.
Perfect timing. Here they are. Let me get a third chair. Hey guys, it's yeah, it's fine.
Everyone in the chat seems to know that he's a scammer. Legit feels like a Pokemon card drug deal. Max Mofo. Bro, get the officer to arrest the bald scammer, please. Max Mofo and the Cold Ones account are in this chat constantly like throwing shade at the collectibles guru. And it seems like they know something I don't.
That's my introduction to Pokemon. You basically are the only reason I've even heard of this being a thing, right?
And why are you doing this? Also, why is his head so shiny? I heard the bald dude's a crypto scammer who's moved to Pokemon to hyperinflate prices. What do these people know? Meanwhile, Leonhardt's like, he's the reason you know about Pokemon, not me, an established Pokemon creator who's also competed in American Ninja Warrior. Oh God, it's Guru selling them the box? Guru about to announce that $30,000 Bulbasaur.
During that deal, I sold them under market cost. Everyone's like, oh, you're inflating prices, you're selling them to them over cost. I'm like, I could get 22 to 23,000 for the card, one of the cards I sold them, and I sold it to him for 16.
Arrest One Punch Man ASAP. Oh man, it's so, I feel bad laughing, but it's funny. So like they're calling it 12 minutes into this hour-long live stream that something is afoot, and we're about to find out what it is. So then they talk about seeing the Logan Paul video and about how they were interested in essentially doing the exact same thing. And they talk about Logan Paul's clear love for Pokemon and how he doesn't have any interest in inflating the cards. But kind of seems like this guy does.
Is this my favorite thing from my childhood and the only thing I'm nostalgic about? When I sold my first Pokemon card for 70% profit.
It's the only thing you're nostalgic about? Also, he follows that sentence with, when I sold my first Pokemon card at a 70% profit, like, are you nostalgic or not? Like, it sounds like you're nostalgic for, profit? Money. I mean, Pokemon is the only thing I'm nostalgic about.
Your actual work illuminating that market brought more value to everyone in the market, including yourself. Now, it'll probably happen a lot quicker than even you thought, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, I was giving prices that people would laugh at.
Like what he's describing is also like a pump and dump scheme where you like drum up the prices and get a bunch of interest in something so that the market goes up and then you get out of the market and then the market eventually crashes. But I mean, he's not really describing that he's nostalgic for Pokemon. He's, again, just talking about his plan to make a bunch of money on it.
Well, people say he's only in it for the money.
Yeah, I did just say that, actually.
People have laughed at me for a long time. In fact, my book was called Laughing at Wall Street because I laugh at smart money. You know, people think that we're dumb money, but we've proven that dumb money can do quite well.
Whatever you say, man. One of my favorite parts about this absurd live stream is that they, I think, tried to set up something to show chat comments on the stream, but this one comment that says, "Why are you guys even in the same room as these scammers?" Just stays on screen for 5 minutes, and I don't know, Troy really had his head in the game on this one. They actually do have a good plan for the box, you know, giving it all away and stuff. I guess they said they're gonna have like a Pokemon party. It's very weird. They're definitely like getting way ahead of themselves, but that just makes this whole thing sadder.
I didn't know if you actually wanted to open it.
Yes, we're gonna open. Let's have it open on camera live. So
he just said that he wasn't sure if he was gonna open the cards today, and knowing what we know, that there's not real cards in there, or there's not actually first edition cards in there. All of his actions seem like he's trying to get ahead of the fact that he's about to sell a fake product.
have it open on camera live so we know we're not doing anything weird with the packs.
No problem.
He gives us the backstory of the box, which I put in quotes because it's a lie. I mean, he contradicts it later on, so I don't know what the truth is, but I just know he's not a reliable narrator.
The owner of the box supposedly bought 3 boxes when he was a child. His parents bought him 3. They sat in the gun safe the entire time.
So my first question is, what parents put Pokemon cards in a gun safe and don't let their kid play with the Pokemon cards? Happy birthday, Timmy. All right, your gift is going in the gun safe. We'll see you in 20 years. So now that Mr. Collectibles Guru has given us a plausible backstory for the box, he then proceeds to explain why it looks like it's been opened.
There's a little bit you'll see of wear on one of the top edges. He says 100% money back for me. if indeed it is fake.
So people since the beginning of the stream have just been assuming that this box is resealed. Even the buyer made a joke about that. And so someone in the comments is like, Guru knows how to reseal. And I'm like, how do these people know? How does everybody have this man's number? And then he's like, even if this was resealed, it would have been resealed like 20 years ago.
It's not like it's been resealed recently. If it was resealed, it was like 19 years ago.
And like, if it's been in a gun safe, how would it have been resealed? Like, I just don't. And then how would you know what 20 years of reseal wear looks like? I'm not an expert, but like, it's just a weird amount of massaging before he hands off the box.
I've done all the inspections a normal person would be able to do without cracking it.
Honestly, I don't understand the purpose of doing all this, talking about whether or not it's fake if they're going to open the box anyway. But this guy like seems to be like delaying the inevitable. And then before he hands off the box, he's like, it all seemed legit.
It all seemed legit.
As if he, like using the past tense as if he knows it's not. Not to put on my conspiracy hat, but what if when he saw that they were opening the box today, he was like, oh, how am I going to get myself out of this jam? I don't know. It's just there's something weird about it. And also, I mean, I'm biased because the entire chat hates this man. So then they pass it off to Leonhardt, who is actually a Pokemon expert. And he does have doubts.
This is my biggest, like, oh my gosh.
But it's also like there's enough plausible deniability that like he, you know, it's like it could be wear and tear from 20 years. There's also another guy in here that's been calling out the sketchiness of the box, and he had a verified check mark on it, so I wanted to look him up. And he's just a YouTube barber, and that's amazing to me that this random YouTube barber also is super knowledgeable about about legitimate Pokemon cards. And he's just like, this is fishy. I don't know. I mean, I've cut a lot of hair in my day, and I know when there's a rogue one out there. What do barbers say? As soon as the next guy gets a hold of the box, Guru immediately asks him like, what are your concerns?
So what are your concerns?
Give the man a second. Jeez, he just got the box.
To me, I don't see any concerns with the outside.
My concerns are the ones that you were saying as far as, you know, right here.
So another thing that boggles my mind is that Guru explains that you'd have to fold up the top of the box to open it for like a store display.
When you have a fake box that's been resealed, the way they do it is they fold up, this piece comes out, and like you've seen in stores, they fold this up.
But I don't think that's true. Don't ask me why I have a similar box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards here. Maybe I'm addicted. But like what he's describing is like you set up the box like this for a store display. But you don't have to do this. You can you could just open it as a box like this. Like, it is just a normal box. This box isn't different. I saw Logan Paul open his and then reseal it. It's like a weird thing to say.
Same time, if there's ever been pressure on the top of the box, the only spot in the box that's reinforced cardboard is where it's folded up. So if this was 3 boxes stacked, which it was in a gun safe for 20 years, it would have had pressure right here.
What if it was at the top? What if it was at the top of the stack? It wouldn't have those creases then. Man, I mean, maybe I'm cynical, but it seems like he's doing all this talking so that they trust him, so that when they find out that it's fake, it seems like he was the one who was duped and not like the duper. But I don't know.
Tell us about your back. Tell us who you are. I don't think we did a proper introduction.
Shouldn't you know people's backgrounds before you arrange a $400,000 deal? One of my favorite comments in the chat. This is fun. I love haters talking smack about dudes who have made millions of dollars. Enjoy the show. Quit hating. No reason to hate, y'all.
And we've done the peak test to break it to make sure.
So, drum roll, please. They finally opened the box.
Does it say first edition? Yeah. Yes, that's perfect. Keep going.
Woo! It's funny because he didn't ask any of these questions or have any concerns about Logan Paul's box. You know, like when he was Logan Paul's advisor, Logan Paul opened that box on stream. He didn't ask, are they all first edition? like that's like I hope so. It's a first edition box. Like, since there was already so much doubt cast on whether or not it was real, I don't know. It just seems like a weird thing to say.
Color's different on that one than that one.
That one's not a first edition pack.
That's an issue.
That's an issue.
This is an unlimited pack.
Oh no.
Yeah, look, they're open.
Yeah, no, that's a major f***ing issue.
This is a resealed box.
Oh my god, it's a resealed box.
All right, time to call the seller.
Yeah, no, money back on that.
Yeah, money back on that. Pretty casual. This is like, I feel like this, I returned a defective toaster to to like Walmart, and they're like, oh yeah, no, that's defective. All right, back to the seller. Oh, get your money back. Like, it's $400,000 cards. This guy is extremely chill about it.
It's not even base set cards.
Oh my god.
Not only were there not first edition cards in the box, the cards were from 2020. Somebody resealed the box this year. So his whole, if it was resealed, it must have been resealed 20 years ago. It just feels like all this convenient backstory that happens to like unravel when they open everything up.
Wow.
This is a
my
resealed
gosh.
box.
Wow.
Lovely.
Oh, and by the way, the chat had a field day with this.
No. But there's some packs at the bottom that are still first edition.
It's random.
There are no cuts in this video, and this man is on the phone with the seller who allegedly scammed him instantly. Like, it was like 10 seconds. What? I don't answer the phone like that for my close family. Why was the seller waiting by the phone for this man's call? Is there anyone on the other side of that phone? After the initial shock wears off, chaos ensues.
I was
Seen
not
one 'cause it was still
prepared for
first
this. I
edition.
honestly, everything
But
looks...
then the next one I saw unlimited
the
because you saw
chain,
the
the
dark
chain of
color.
ownership looked...
No, like they just like gave up on the stream and everybody's talking at once. It's impossible to hear anything and no one is in focus. So even the camera guys are shook. Also, I love how Leonhardt and Scott Emer here, Emer, are just like geeking out over the fake box and like how the fake was done. Those are true fans. Then they put away the money briefcase because they were like, wait, is somebody about to run away with our money? And to be honest, the dumb money guys are extremely understanding about this.
Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be okay, like getting your transaction back? Or
Oh, yeah.
Like, I looked on Twitter and they said they feel really bad for him. And I'm like, I mean, that's, you know, believing the best in people, but this guy's narrative doesn't add up.
Oh, yeah. I know
Okay.
the seller exactly who he transacted with.
I know the seller exactly who he transacted with. I thought they were in a gun safe, Mr. Guru. Or if that is your real name, Jake. Also, what's funny to me is that they asked Leonhardt if he would have bought this box, and he was like, nah.
Would you guys buy it?
Okay, so honestly, I would not have purchased this box.
But why are they asking that question? Like, are they embarrassed that they were duped? Are they trying to see if it would have fooled him? Are they trying to see if the reseal was good enough?
Sorry, guys. You know, this,
Well, this guy's never spoken before. He's like, well, sorry, guys.
obviously was a shock to all of us.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if it was a shock to all of the chat was not shocked. They were actually expecting this. What does the chat know?
Thanks for being so cool about
Thanks
it.
for being so cool about it. Thanks for not calling the cops.
Thank you guys.
This
Listen,
will definitely-
You guys, a lot of work for you guys. You have to fly around and then deal with this stuff.
So allegedly the seller has 2 other boxes. Wait. Maybe the seller is a time traveler and he went back in time and put 2020 cards in the 1999 gun safe. It all makes sense. Oh, sorry. It all makes sense. Okay, so I have a few questions. First off, who is getting screwed in this chain? Because our man Guru here is pulling the Shaggy defense, and he's like, it wasn't me. So it must have been Mr. Time Traveling Gun Safe Man. And that doesn't make any sense either because he's willing to give a refund. I don't know if these types of sales have refunds. That's so strange to me. I'm wondering if he knew that he would be on camera. I'm wondering if he knew if the experts would be there because those things seem to catch him by surprise. One theory is that they're just planning to like leave the Pokemon game after this. And so they were trying to make this last sale or something. Because we don't know that Guru has ever sold a first edition box before, because I think the first one, at least from the social media posts of his other colleagues that are in there, that was the first box that they got, and it was a reseal. All in all, this was like the cringiest thing I've ever watched. And you know what? Maybe this was all just a big misunderstanding. After all, the dumb money guys seem very well-meaning. It's just suspicious that everyone in the Pokemon community seems to think Guru is a scammer. I don't personally like have the tea, but you know, to play devil's advocate, there's a big Pokemon YouTuber named Pokerev who has actually mistakenly purchased a resealed box, and it was in the chat saying that it's really difficult to tell the reseals from the real thing. But I can't shake the fact that literally no one has vouched for the trustworthiness of Mr. Crypto King / collectibles guru. Like literally no one, except for maybe Logan Paul. But I mean, he did sell Logan Paul a good product, and Logan Paul is a big influencer, so it's kind of like that would be part of the plan. So I don't know. Actually, I do know, kind of, now. I'm not using this mic right now. Daily Tamings time is crazy, y'all. It's so dark. It's so dark. This is night mode. This is Jarvis After Dark. What is it? It's 5 p.m. It just looks like it's midnight right now. I just wanted to record a quick little addendum because since I filmed this video, the situation has kind of resolved. In short, the Dumb Money guys were able to purchase a legitimate box from Mr. Guru. Was it from the original seller? No. And they also paid like 350 grand for it, so they basically didn't make any money on the deal. They had another big live stream where they called in the sellers and they had the box in sight, kind of. They like kept leaving the box out of frame. They didn't have sleeves for the cards that they opened. They didn't have the proper scale. They tried to use a kitchen scale. Freaking amateur hour over here. And to top it all off, it looks like they filmed the whole thing on a TI-84 calculator. But I think the Dumb Money guys are happy. They seem like well-meaning guys. No shade to them. And, you know, I don't know the situation with the Guru guy. I'm not here to say whether or not he intended to do the scam. It seems like he may have lost out on some money. But there's a lot of weird stuff that went down in that transaction. And I still think that my analysis stands even, you know, days after this situation has resolved. So let me know what you think in the comments. This is a weird situation. I want to shout out a couple of people who helped me while I was preparing for this video. I want to shout out Ruxin34. I've been obsessed with his channel lately. He opens up Yu-Gi-Oh packs and Yu-Gi-Oh products. I've been getting really into Yu-Gi-Oh lately. Ruxin's the one who told me about this video, and I watched it when the stream had just ended and it had like 20,000 views. I have a feeling that now that articles are being written about this, it's going to go viral in some sort. So we got the scoop. We got the scoop. He's really close to 25,000 subscribers, so please do him a favor and check his channel out and subscribe, because he will really appreciate it. And I think that would be super cool. I also want to shout out a creator by the name of Yizzy. Yizzy just hit 1,000 subscribers, so congrats. I also want to shout out another small PokeTuber by the name of Not Shivam. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A bit of a weird one for me, but I was glued to my seat watching this whole thing unfold, so I hope you enjoyed it at least half as much as I did. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have been motivating myself to finish editing this video with this box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that just came out that I can't wait to open. So I'm about to become the king of games. Charmeleon, War Turtle, Mewtwo, Tentacruel, Aerodactyl, Ammonite, Slowpoke, Pidgeot, Arbok, and that's all, folks. Thanks to Corey Steiner. Congrats, Corey. You know what you did. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. If you want me to butcher your name, send me a message on the internet. All right, ta-ta.